Aloha. So recently started walking a lot more instead of cycling. So I'm walking home this evening and feels great. I guess. I guess what I wanted to talk about tonight, what it kind of occurred to me is that slow, gradual process. Again, I may have mentioned this in the video yesterday of crafting that identity that you want instead of just letting your mind, that part of your mind, the what is it, ahanana. Watch some Sadhguru, Anhanan, something like that. That it's not the, he describes it differently than we describe as the ego in the West, but it's that part of your mind that seeks to identify with something. So, when you're, and most of us are in a constant reaction mode. We're bombarded with things and we react. We're bombarded with news. We're bombarded with advertisements. Somebody says something and we react. It's not a recent realization for me, but it is a realization in my life that a lot of times, instead of doing what I want to do, I do what I think that person wants, or what I think might be in that person's best interest, or something like that. And I think it's a habit that is formed in part because I grew up with my grandmother as the main mother figure, and while she was a strong woman, there was always still this, let me kind of please you, let me do this for you, and then you'll be happy kind of thing, right, to my grandfather, other people, and then women in my life of a certain generation, of course, and then I'm used to hanging around women, having more female friends, and then that influences me in a more kind of like people-pleasing, subservient, hold back, emotional management kind of way. Like I'm managing the emotions of other people instead of doing what I want from my core inside. And this is a real challenge. This is a challenge for anyone who has worked in customer service for a number of years and is trying to escape from that. I remember when I first started running seriously with the track team, with the cross country team in college. It was the JV team or the intramural team, and I would run with the women, and then someone was like, "Dude, you need to be running with the dudes. Of course, dudes are going to be faster, and they're going to push me. So they're going to be a challenge for me." So being around people that you admire and that give a reason for you inside. I don't want to say force you to or make you step up to the challenge is part of the challenge. It's part of the struggle. It's part of the getting out of your comfort zone, right? So if you want, I can remember being in Japan and hating it and hanging out in a foreigner bar with other foreigners, drinking all day on Sundays, bitching about how much we hated Japan, and yet nobody had the goddamn foresight to just stand up from that table and leave and go find a different life. We're happy in our misery. So instead of being happy in your misery, choose your own destiny. Choose your own life. Yoga, it's been really great getting back into that. And in this path of changing your identity, knowing where I used to come from, judging myself, judging others, critical of myself, critical of others, angry at myself, angry at others, jealous of other people, insecure of myself. It's taken a long time to melt those things away. Would I have liked to have done a lot better financially? Could I have done better financially along the way? Yes, I could have. Could I have done better career-wise? Yes, I could have. But I was not. Thank you. Part of me could have, but there were larger parts of me that could not do that. So there you have it. And so now the work, now that it feels like a lot of that emotional trauma of the past has been removed and cleared out, and blockages of the last 10 years with women especially, you know, choosing women that I don't really want to be with just because I'm lonely, for example, or just because I at the time have a lack of self-confidence. And that goes to like how well you feed yourself. You know, if you feed yourself a proper, healthy, nutritious diet, you're going to grow better. You're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. You're not going to need a nap during the day, right? You're going to be more resilient to stress. And the exact same thing goes for how you feed your mind. So feed your mind nutritious, positive, wonderful, amazing thoughts and actions, and then become that. The challenge is that sustained focus. And that's where people give up in the struggle, because changing your entire person is not as simple as running a marathon, right? That's one habit. When you're changing your entire person, you're changing the way you speak, you're changing the way that you stand. I noticed in yoga tonight, right? Like my back when I'm down dog, it's still a little bit curved, right? It's gonna take a while before I get that posture correct, but I'm a lot better than I was a couple of months ago. So it's, you know, it's like your body has a memory of everything that you've done and the way that you are. You know, if you're 500 pounds, if you're shy, if you're depressed, if you're whatever, and you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, how many years did that identity build up for you? And then how strongly are you attached to that identity? And so in changing that, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. It needs to be done intentionally. And then don't get butthurt at the end of the day if it doesn't, you know, if you have some setbacks. So have I had setbacks over the last couple of years? Yes. And there were times when I wanted to give up, and I almost did. And I realize now the importance of noise pollution laws in Hawaii. Jesus Christ, please, on an energetic level, like, can we have more electric cars? Just because that future of like living in an electric, maybe not electric because EMFs, but there's a frequency up there that's better than the frequency of whatever that bike was. Anyway, I hope everybody has a beautiful evening. I'm gonna go meditate again because that bike, wow. So nobody said, Jesus, being saintly was easy. Have a beautiful evening. Good luck. Aloha.